covering more issues inside of the state's juvenile justice facilities. As Bodie Brooks reports, both the governor and state lawmakers are calling on each other to take action to make them safer, improve staffing, and fix flaws in the system.
While GOP lawmakers are commending some of the actions taken by the Beshear administration to address problems with juvenile justice, they don't see them as long-term solutions. They say there is bigger work to do to change the culture at DJJ, which they describe as toxic.
You don't have the incidents happen that we've had continuously and not realize that there is a breakdown in leadership.
Violent incidents inside the state's juvenile detention centers have prompted both the governor and lawmakers to take action. On Thursday, a work group of both House and Senate GOP members broke down several recommendations they put together after concerning stories came to light.
Law enforcement went to a facility to pick up a youth, and that youth was not there. Upon investigation, he was at another facility.
Louisville Representative Kevin Bratcher says a tracking system is needed and suggests a program to bring back retirees with benefits to help address the department's serious staffing woes. This after Governor Beshear announced last week those employees are getting a pay raise taking effect this month. The hope is it will help attract more staff, which Republicans like Senator Danny Carroll thinks may help eventually, but more immediate action is needed.
I was told specifically, Senator Carroll, if the leadership is changed and the culture changed, you're going to see some people want to come back.
The work group wants a third-party review of DJJ, arguing the public has lost trust.
I'm all for an outside audit that could come in and give us good information if done the right way, in a non-political way.
Beshear says if lawmakers want that, then they should also commit to making the changes recommended without letting sessions continue without action. Beshear also announcing state patrol officers being placed at all high-level facilities.
There will be a presence, my understanding, 24/7 until we reach the point where the training and the personnel have reached a safer letter.
We are expecting some kind of legislation to come from the lawmakers work group, including creating a task force to study the issues closer in depth. We'll get a better idea of what's in that legislation when lawmakers come back for session next week. At the state capitol, Bodie Brooks, Fox 56 News.